Welcome to Tuesday with Terry, the podcast for getting your mind, business, and life in shape. Hosted by Terry Blachek, one of the original area developers for Orange Theory Fitness who helped launch the brand from the very beginning. He'll use his years of experience to help you shape up your mind, build strong relationships with your teams, revamp your business processes, and set down the path towards success in all aspects of your life.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tuesday with Terry. My name's Terry. I'm your friend, talking to you live from Austin, Texas, where the sun is hot, the barbecue is sweet, and all the drinks are free over here. So welcome to my podcast. This month we've been talking about, setting up your life and starting the new year in 2022. Here we are. We're 3 weeks into it, man. How we doing? You had some New Year's resolutions. You need to check up from the neck up. How's you thinking? You got your head right? You head in the game. Mindset is everything, right? We know that. But I spoke to you in the first week about my story of living a millionaire's life and going down to the Exumas. And I talked about not procrastinating. I talked about, being so busy with life that we actually aren't doing the things that we want in life and quality time remaining. The second week, I talked about dreaming and dreaming big and what you dreamed like as a child and what were your dreams, your goals, your desires, and being a whole person in your dreams and not just putting some goals down about one thing in your life, but putting some goals down about everything in your life. And then last week, I spoke about your life being epic and being an adventure and, I used the analogy of sporting events and, making your life like an epic life. And this week and today, really what I want to share with you is I really want to put pen to paper and start getting into some of the details about those goals. And I know we're 3 weeks into the year, but it's never too late to start. You're never too old to start. And if you haven't started some of your New Year's resolutions already, or if you broke them, forget about that. Today's a new day. It's a fresh day. Get a fresh start. Let's start again. Let's get focused. Let's get on the right track and make a difference today. And so I'm going to tell you a story about, there was an older gentleman that was on the Jersey Shore, and a younger gentleman got up in the morning to go for a run on the shore. And sure enough, as it is in Jersey, you have the fog that comes in. It burns off as the day wears on, but the fog comes in the morning and the tide is out. And so this younger gentleman went for a run. And as he was running down the beach, he looked far ahead and what appeared to be like a man or another gentleman dancing in the sand or on the edges of the water. And he couldn't understand what it was, but as he ran and he jogged, he got closer and closer and closer. And sure enough, what was happening is this older gentleman was reaching down in the sand, picking something up and running out, to knee-deep water, and looked like he was throwing something back into the water. And as he got closer and closer, he decided he was going to talk to this guy and find out what he was doing. And he said to the old man, he says, "What in the world are you doing?" And the old gentleman looked at him and he said, "Why?" He said, "Don't you know?" He said, "When the sun comes out, these starfish that have floated or been washed up on shore, they're going to die. And the sun is going to beat down on them. They won't be able to get back into the water quick enough. And in essence, they'll die." So he said, "I'm taking them." And with that, he bent over. He grabbed one of the starfish. He waded out into the water, into knee-deep water, and he cast the starfish back into the water. He said, "I'm saving the starfish." And the young man looked at him. He said, "You're crazy, old man." He said, "That's crazy." He said, "Look at all these starfish on the shore." He said, "You'll never make a difference." And the old gentleman looked back at him and then he gazed out into the water. He turned his gaze back to the young man and he said, "I made all the difference in the world with that one that I just threw back." And I tell you that story because many of you say, "Man, I can't make a difference," or writing your goals down, it doesn't really make a difference. But I'm telling you, you have the ability to make a difference. And that's why today is a new day. You can make a difference today. And you put today back to back with tomorrow and the next day, and now you got 3 days in a row and you got something going on. You put it back to back with a few more days, and now you've been a week achieving your goals. You make all the difference in the world by making the right decisions today. And so you got a blank piece of paper. You're going to need it for this because I want you to do a math problem for me, if you would, please. And you can try this here if you want to. Here's a math problem. What I want you to do is I want you to take your age and I want you to multiply it by 365. Now, if you have one of those iPhones, you probably can use the calculator on that iPhone, but I want you to take your age and multiply it by 365. And what that really does is it takes your current age and it puts it into the number of days that you've already spent in your life. You got that number? I want you to take that number and I want you to subtract it from 27,375. Because you see, 27,375 is the number of days in an average man or woman's life. So if you take 27,375 and deduct it by the number you came up with, what does that tell you? That tells you about how many days you have left in your lifetime. And every single day makes a difference. Because you're chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. Now, you better keep track of that number because life is too short to not start doing something today. You see, I got a couple of little things to remind yourself of as you look forward to writing your goals down. Remember this, that life is too short to be cranky. It's too short. Your attitude is a choice. You get to decide. You wake up this morning, you say, am I going to have a good day? Am I going to have a bad day? Am I going to be happy today? Am I going to be cranky today? No, you get to decide that. I'm going to have a good day every day for the rest of my life. Another thing you got to remind yourself is you got to keep your word, and that's your word to yourself. If you said you were going to do something, you need to do it. You need to say what you mean and mean what you say. You need to be honest with yourself. And if you're not living up to your own word to yourself, get a fresh start and start being honest with yourself today. You need to forgive yourself. Some of you have been going around the last 3 weeks of the year and say, I already broke my New Year's resolution, and you can't let it go, let it go, let it go. Anybody watch the movie from Disney called Frozen? Let it go, let it go. I'm not a singer, but I tell you something, you got to let those things go. Forgive yourself. We talk about forgiving other people, man. You got to forgive yourself. You got to stop worrying. Another thing, stop worrying. We know that 90% of the things that we worry about never happen anyway. Will you just stop worrying? Stop it. And the reason you worry is because you have idle time and you need to get your head focused around some other things. The way to flood your mind is to listen to the pure, the good, the positive stuff on YouTube, videos, read books, but you've got to get your mind on other things because you have idle time, and the idle time is when you spend it worrying. You need to be grateful. Talked about this a lot. You need to come from a place of gratefulness. Just so you know, what is there, 300, million, billion people in the world, and nobody's exactly like you? And I can't tell you how many people, as bad as you think you have it, how many people would be willing to trade their life for yours, trade places with you. And you need to be thinking about the glass as half full and being grateful for your health, that you have your arms, your legs, your eyesight, your hearing, that you have a job, whether it's but it's a paying job and it's an indoor job. It's not out in the heat. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could probably help you with creating a list of things for you to be grateful for. And the last one here is just little things matter, right? The little things matter, like your daily choices. When you can keep things simple, you can be more grateful. You can live a life of happiness. That is the art of happiness, is to keep your life simple, right? We'll talk about gratefulness for a second, because I think that's an important place to start as we start putting our goals down. But you know people in your life that you're grateful for. Could you make a list of 6 or 10 people that you're really grateful for in your life? Take out a piece of paper right now and write down a list. Put those people down. And you're going to say, well, yeah, I don't know, maybe your mom, your brother, whatever come to mind. But I want to give you a short list. I'm going to give you what I call a memory jogger of people maybe you could be grateful for. And if you have something good to say to someone or something to say to a loved one, my recommendation is don't put it off to tomorrow, because tomorrow may never come. Think about a childhood friend. Who came to your mind right then? school teacher that really helped you out. Think about an inspiring coach that could have given up on you, but he didn't, or she didn't. Remember that? Remember that person? I know who that person was for me. His name was Ron Redding, back in high school. What about a college roommate? Your best man, your maid of honor, a rabbi, a priest, a minister, somebody that really listened to you, helped you out in the time of need. What about a physician that delivered your baby? Sounds silly, but giving him a call. A caring mentor, a friend. All I'm suggesting is you have people in your life that have helped you along the way. And remember, be grateful for those people, but let them know that you're grateful for them. When was the last time that you did something for someone else? So the reason I share that with you this morning is because as we go about setting goals and writing them down, you need to write down goals of gratitude and goals of letting other people know that you appreciate them. Remember, I talked about the circle, that wheel of life. And so as you go through that wheel of your finances, your career, your education, your family, your friends, your spiritual needs, and you start thinking about, well, how do you want this year to go? You need to take that list. You need to write those out and say, where do you want to be at the end of the year? And then start working backwards. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You've seen the book, Stephen Covey. Number 1 rule of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is start with the end in mind. So if you know where you want to be by the end of this year, whether it's your weight, you want to be this many pounds, if it's your nutrition, if it's your relationships, if it's your spirituality, if it's your finances, if it's that, start there and say, where will I be 1 year from now, where you want to be? Don't be afraid to shoot high. And then start working your way backwards and say, well, if that's where I'm going to be by the end of the year, where do I have to be in 6 months to be on pace with that? Where do I have to be in 3 months? And what's the first thing that I need to do in order to accomplish that? Well, what's the second thing that I need to do in order to accomplish that? And so you take a piece of paper out and you have all your pieces of your life on the left-hand side, and you have these benchmarks of 3, 6, 9, and 12 months with actionable items that says, this is what I need to do. And if it's too big for 3 months, all you have to do is figure out, what do you need to do today? I'm in the fitness business, and I hear people all the time say, Terry, you need to get on an 8-week program, or you need to get on a 12-week program. I got a better idea for you. How about a 1-day program? All I really need to do is get my workout in today. I ain't got to worry about tomorrow. I told you to stop worrying anyway, so you don't need to be thinking about that. You need to be thinking about what it is I need to do today that gets me closer. You need to be on the right path. You don't need to be at the end of the path or at the destination. You just need to be on the path. If you're not on the path, you'll never get to the destination. You see, if I know that Route 95 gets me from New York City to Miami, Florida, and I'm not on 95, I'm on some other road, Route 80, I'm going to end up in San Francisco instead of ending up in Miami. You need to be on the right path. And what is the right path? The right path are good decisions and actionable items today. That's all you got to worry about, is getting through today. Take those action items for the different parts of your life. Do it today. And remember, do it with gratitude. Be the answer to somebody else's prayers. Whether it's kindness, whether it's a hug, whether it's words of encouragement, you can work wonders in other people's lives simply by caring. And I'll leave you with this final quote. You see, to the world, you may just be one person. But to that one person, you may be the world. Good luck with your goals. Stay on target. re-listen to these last 4 episodes. If you have a friend or family member that could use some of this information or could benefit from some of these podcasts, please share the Tuesdays with Terry with them. It would be great to increase my listeners and help more people out. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give back. My name's Terry. I'm your friend. Have a wonderful day.